Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. This is the card that I'm going to make today, and this is using Gilding Flakes. Now the die that I'm using to create the card is the Seville die from the Spanish collection by Sue Wilson. And you're also going to need some double-sided adhesive sheet. You're going to need some Gilding Flakes, and these are from Indigo Blue, and this is called Sheffield Steel. Now I would advise you to decant your flakes into a larger container, because these will swell when you open the when you take them out of the container. And don't throw that container away, because you can always use it for storage for some other item in your stash. Now if you look at the die sets, you have two that are just cutting edges. From the largest one, you're going to cut yourself two of the bases, and then if you put the next one down with the filigree pattern in it and put those two together, you're going to cut yourself two of those. And then from the next one, which is the smallest one, you're going to cut yourself two of those. Now from the two largest pieces, you're going to take one and you're going to fold it back by about ½ an inch along one edge, and then with some wet glue, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm going to fasten these two together, and I'm going to make sure that they're lined up nice and neat, and that's going to create my hinged base card. Now one of your patterned pieces is going to fit inside the card as a liner, and you may need to just trim it off a little bit at the top there, just to make sure that the card still closes. And the other one is the one that we're going to work on with the Gilding Flakes. Now with your other patterned piece, you're going to need a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet that's just a little bit bigger than your shape. You don't want it too much bigger, because you don't want to waste your Gilding Flakes. So just cut that piece out, and that's ready for your pattern piece. Now once you've cut that to the size that you need, you're going to take off the backing sheet. Now this is the sticky part, so take your backing off and lay it down. And then, making sure that this is in the middle, you're going to add that to the sticky back plastic. Now you need to make sure that all the little bits are out of your lacy pattern, because this is where the Gilding Flakes are going to sit. So we're just going to press that down and make sure that's all in place. Now with your craft knife or some scissors, you can, if you wish, trim this off so that you're not wasting too many Gilding Flakes as you add them to the sticky back sheet. Now once you have this stuck to the plastic, to the sticky back adhesive, you're just going to take some of the larger Gilding Flakes and you're just going to press them onto the open areas in your pattern. And if you rub them in with your fingers, make sure that they're in all the little areas, and you're going to make sure that that's all covered. Now once you have the Gilding Flakes all pressed into the double-sided sheet, you're just going to take a detailed sponge and remove the excess. And if you move it back, drop it back into your container, that will be all ready for you to use again on another project. And that is your gilded sheet. Now once you have the Gilding Flakes in place, you're going to strengthen this by adding it to a piece of white card that's just a little bit bigger. So peel off the other side of the double-sided tape and add it to your card. Now you're going to take the second of your dies, this was the largest if you remember, take the second one, reseat it over that die, over that card, and then once you've run that through your die cutting machine, you'll have your gilded piece of card that is lined and quite strong. Now with the smallest of the tags, I've added some double-sided adhesive sheet into that, and I've covered it in Gilding Flakes, and all I'm going to do with this one is just cut it straight up the middle, and then with some foam pads on each side of this, on the cut side, I'm just going to add them along here, and then very carefully I'm going to place this one on top so that it leaves just a small border around that edge, and I'm going to do the same with the one on the other side. Now on this little panel, before it's added to the card, I need to add a sentiment. Now it's easier to stamp your sentiment first and fit the die around it than it is to try and get your sentiment in the middle of that. If you're using clear stamps, it's not too difficult because you can see through the stamp, but that is by far the easiest way to do it. And what I'm going to do is, or what I've done is, I've embossed this in silver. So we can now start assembling all the pieces to the card. So with the base card, I've added some ribbon around the liner and glued that inside. I've put some ribbon around the front piece that we backed onto some white card, and with some foam pads I'm going to add that to the front of the card. Then I have my sentiment that is also framed in silver, and again with foam pads I'm going to add that along the centre part, and then I have a little bow that I'm going to fit along the side, and I have a diamante that's going to sit in the middle. So I'm just going to go away and glue those together, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Now I've made a little selection of flowers, so with a hot glue gun I'm just going to add these to the card. So one's going along there, I'm going to tuck a white leaf under there, and then I'm going to push some tulips into the glue while it's still hot, and then coming down the side we'll have one of the cosmos daisies and a little sweetheart blossom, and then I think I'll tuck another couple of leaves down here, and you need to be careful with the glue because it is hot. And then I'm going to add one of the lilies along there, and just tuck another little sweetheart blossom down the side. And then the last thing to do is just add some glitter to those flowers just to make them a little more sparkly. And now I'm using Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear, and as long as you use a Dries Clear glue it will not colour your glitter. So I'm just dabbing some onto the flower petals, and it will look bobbly to start with, but as the glue dries the glitter will lie flat. So I'm just sprinkling on some glitter and tipping off the excess, and then with an old makeup brush just going to get rid of the excess glitter. Now that will lie flat as the glue dries, but there's the finished card. So there you have some finished cards, one with white and gold, the other in blue and silver, and this is what white with silver would look like, and that's the basis for another project.